Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about Young Living essential oils today. So just to tell you a little bit about my story, I was sick about a year ago, really, really sick. It was so bad that I couldn't breathe out of either nostril. It felt like the only time I was breathing when I was coughing. So I went to the urgent care, and and they gave me antibiotics, and I came home and I took them, and it still wasn't getting any better. And of course, I was posting all this on Facebook and everything, just trying to find some type of relief. And so one of my friends, Chrissy, reached out to me and she said, I've got something you need to try. You know, you've tried everything else. Let's give this a try and see if it works. So I went back to her house and she gave me a few oils and had me sniff a few oils and put a chest rub on and stuff. And literally within 30 seconds, I was breathing again. It was incredible. And I was pretty much sold on the oils themselves. And so I'd continued to use the oils and made some product for some people to help with some issues they were having too. And so then I guess the beginning of January, I really decided that I was going to go full board and start teaching this so that others could also learn how to use essential oils and help themselves. So that's kind of where this comes in. And if I can get the slide to change. So just to let you know, I am not a doctor, so I can't diagnose, prescribe, treat, or cure any type of illness or condition. I can only use a little bit of common sense and tell you what has worked for me and others that I know that use essential oils. So what is an essential oil? Essential oils are natural aromatic compounds found in plants that are steam stilled or cold pressed extraction, which means our bodies have blood that runs through them. Plants have oils that are kind of like their lifeblood. And so what happens is we take those oils that help heal the plants to help heal our bodies. Oils are a lot of medications and vaccinations and stuff like that do not have the ability to pass the blood-brain barrier, but oils do. And they are 100 to 10,000 times more concentrated than the herbal form of the plant. They're very powerful, very safe, have lots of benefits without the side effects, which was really important to me. It just seems like every day you see a commercial that comes on to take this, but it has the possibility of having these side effects. So you're not going to get that with oils. Oh, hold on, I'm admitting someone. Okay, so they contain the healing properties of the plants from which they're harvested. So each oil does something just a little bit different. And it can affect every cell in the body within 20 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. And then if you have a question, up in the right-hand corner, there is a mute or unmute button. And you can click on that and unmute yourself. Okay. So there are 3 different ways to use oils. You can use them aromatically, which means there's a diffuser there on the top of that one picture that you can diffuse it right into the air, or you can put a few drops on your hand and tent your hands and sniff your hands, and that's another way of doing it aromatically, or you can just sniff it straight from the bottle. It's amazing how much how effective this method is. The next way is internally. There are we have a vitality line that you can take those oils internally. The ways that I do it, you can cook with them, you can put them in water to flavor your water, or you can put them in a capsule and take them just like you would a pill. Um, and then the third way is topical. If you see by the little guy there in the lower left-hand corner, you can use the oils anywhere on your skin. Anyhow you can get them on your body works, but the pressure points and the flexology is a really good way of doing that. And so you can see by the little red dots where you can put them. One of my favorite places of putting it is actually on the bottom of my feet. The pores on your feet are larger, and so it will go up into your system a whole lot quicker and absorb that way. Okay, so a little bit about frequency. I didn't know much about frequency, but everything has a frequency. Tables, books, cars, plants, our bodies, everything has a different megahertz frequency. Everything in our body has a frequency. So like your heart, your liver, your brains, all your organs, they all have different frequencies. And the body frequency is usually between 62 and 72 megahertz. So the stuff that we put in and on our bodies has a frequency. So if you get some kind of canned food, like canned vegetables or something, that's pretty close to 0 megahertz. But fresh produce is 15 megahertz. Positive thoughts can raise your body frequency by 10 megahertz. But essential oils have a high frequency of anywhere from 52 megahertz to 320 megahertz, and there are even a few oils that they think may be higher. So anytime you put an essential oil on, you're increasing the megahertz of your body, and the higher the frequency in your body, the healthier you will be if you raise those. Okay. And guess what? Essential oils are not just for people. We also have a pet line. It's non-toxic and easy to use, and it's very effective on. We have an entire line dedicated to our fur babies. It's called Animal Sense. They're very safe for pets, and there's even a few oils that you can also use. Oh. Let me, okay, you must have muted herself. Okay, so we all want to be healthier, right? So if you look at the chart there on the left, you start off down at optimum health. And when you eat sugar or stress, no exercise or no sleep, different things like that will start making you climb that curve. And right about 3/4 of the way up is when it's time to see the doctor, because you're not at optimum health anymore. So the key is to get you back down to optimum health. I can tell you that like around the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, stuff like that, when we're eating cookies and drinking punch and stuff like that, you start climbing that curve. And so the idea is to keep down to the bottom to optimum health. So we need to zero in on the root of the issue, that you need to use essential oils, supplements or nutritional things, to get a healthy lifestyle and get to that optimum health. If you look at that website down on the bottom of the screen, I took that test, or that quiz. It's really kind of neat. It'll actually target some of the areas that you need to work on. Like when I did it, mine came up that 73% of my problem was cardiovascular. So now that's what I'm working on with different oils and supplements. Seed to seal. When I first started this company, I really did my research. I had oils from multiple different companies, but there were a lot of things that I really loved about about Young Living, and one of the biggest ones was Seed to Seal. Young Living has its purity, quality, and integrity. That you have to really know your farmer, and if you don't trust them, I wouldn't trust ingesting or putting something on my body if I didn't trust them. There are lots of companies. We are the oldest and trusted company in the world. They have more than 25 years of experience. They're the only company that has its own farms that you can visit and even help out on the farms at any time. So what seed to seal means is that the company has control over the entire process of your oils. So they're the only company that can guarantee the seed to seal. So the first part is the seed part, and that's the plants in the dirt. They're tested time and time again, and when they harvest the plants, it has to be at a specific time, because you want to make sure that you get the highest constituents in that plant. So if you harvest it early or late, then the constituents drop drastically. So it's really important that it is harvested at the right time. And they will actually send people out to test these fields to see when that field needs to be harvested. And coming from a farming background, I thought that was pretty interesting to me. So the next thing is the cultivation of the plants when they're cutting them and everything. And one thing that they do not do is they do not use any kind of chemicals. So if you think of your garden out back and the weeds and the bugs and all that kind of stuff you get on your plants, they don't use any kind of chemicals. Some of the things that they do, they harvest with tractors or pulling weeds by hand. They also steam different weeds and stuff to get them out. And they use throwaway essential oil water to help with the bugs. And now they're even starting to use sheep, because some sheep will just eat like the weeds and stuff and leave the plants that we're harvesting alone. So they're constantly growing and trying different methods. Distillation is also important. The temperature means everything. And so when you're getting an essential oil, there is distillation and there's cold press. A lot of these citrus oils that we have are cold pressed from the rind of the fruit, and the rest are all distilled at a certain temperature. If you deviate from that temperature, the constituents go down. You can ruin the whole batch. The next thing is they test, and they test and test and test. They test the soil that the plants are grown in to make sure there's no chemicals in them. And then they have many scientists that do this testing, not just in-house. They have in-house, but they also have third-party testers. And I believe even one of them, I think one of them works for Scotland Yard, and another one, I believe, works for the CIA, if I'm not mistaken. So I always thought that was pretty interesting. Okay. So the kit that we're going to talk about is what's listed here. This is one of my favorite kits. We have multiple kits, but I think this one's the best bang for your buck. You get a diffuser of your choice. There's 2 that are free and 2 that you can get with an upgrade. 12 different essential oils. You get 24% off of all future orders, product guide, essential oil magazine. I don't think they're doing the hand cleaner packet. I believe they're doing the Thieves spray now. And then you get 2 packs of Ningxia, the Thieves waterless hand purifier or hand sanitizer, and Aroma Glide, Roller Fitments, just a whole box of different things. That's what we're going to talk about. So let's get into the oils. Peppermint we're going to start with. Peppermint supports the digestive system. It's great for cooking, especially around Christmas time. And it also has a cooling sensation when it's added to the skin. It can be a hot oil on very sensitive skin, so it's really important that you dilute this one if you have sensitive skin. However, if you put peppermint on the bottom of your feet, generally the bottom of your feet is tougher skin. I've had people do that, and oils will actually hit your bloodstream in less than a minute and will metabolize over 2.5 hours. But I've had people put peppermint on the bottom of their feet and they can taste it within 30 seconds. So that's how quickly it can move through your bloodstream. I put it on the roof of my mouth if I get a headache, and my headache is generally gone almost immediately. There's no waiting 20 minutes. It works really well for my headache when I get headaches. And if you have cool flashes or hot flashes, this helps can help to cool them down just by putting it on your skin. Okay, lavender. Lavender is the Swiss Army knife of oils, and it has more than 1,000 uses. It is also the most adulterated oil, which means everybody and their brother can make it or manufacture it. It promotes relaxing and relaxation. It has medicinal properties as well. When in doubt, I always put a little bit of lavender in. Couldn't hurt, right? So some examples of what I've used it for: high blood pressure. I have high blood pressure, and so I put that in my high blood pressure roll-on. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that a little later here. It also works well with lavender lemon. When you put lavender lemon peppermint, it can support clear sinuses and respiration. And so Chrissy, who is a friend of mine, the one who introduced me to oils, she was on 2 24-hour allergy pills a day, and they were starting to become non-effective. And so she started, once she got into oils, she started doing lavender lemon peppermint in a capsule, and she hasn't seen her allergist in 3 years. So it definitely has worked for her. Lavender is really good on burns. Like if you burn yourself on the stove, or if you get sunburned, put a little bit of lavender on that. And acne, believe it or not. Or no, I'm sorry, Charlie horses. I'm skipping ahead of myself. Charlie horses. My husband had, we had gone camping one weekend, and he gets Charlie horses now and again. I tell him it's because he doesn't drink enough water, but I had looked it up in my big book of oils, and it said lavender. Well, I didn't have lavender with me, but I had it in a roller bottle, and he put it on, and within 30 seconds, that Charlie horse was gone. Lemon. Lemon to me reminds me, it's like a clean oil, or nature's Goo Gone. I had wax on my floor, and I know you can heat wax up and put a paper towel on it and stuff, and it'll take it up. But I wanted to try lemon because I had heard that it works really good. So I had put a couple drops of lemon on that wax, and it literally came right up. I've heard that it can take gum out of hair. I haven't had little ones for a long time, and I have a lot of hair, but I've never had gum in it. So I heard that it can do that. This is one that is taken from the rind, not the pulp of the fruit, but it can be photosensitive. So you want to make sure that you put it somewhere under clothes or something that's not going to be hit by the sun, just in case it would burn your skin. So normally it is just fine, but it can be photosensitive. So you want to make sure you cover that up. Peace and Calming is a blend, which means it has multiple oils in it. It's just like the name, Peace and Calming, for peace and relaxation. It's great for overactive husbands like mine, for kids, and if you dilute it, you could even use it on pets, overactive pets. I use this for Tony's pillow spray. Him and I both suffer from insomnia, and he can't use lavender, and so we use Peace and Calming for him. That's one of the things that sold me on Young Living, is when you have an oil that you can't use. they have something else that you can use in its place that is just as effective. And so that we use that in his pillow spray, but you can also put it on the bottom of your feet. And what we've been finding is a lot of moms with little children have been diffusing peace and calming in their bedrooms at night to help them sleep a little bit more deeply and get to sleep. So this is a pretty impressive little oil. You can see down at the bottom the blend, all the different ingredients that's in it. Digize, this is also a blend of different oils. It supports the digestive system, digestive problems, indigestion, heartburn, gas, bloating, nausea, anything to do with the digestive system. So it doesn't smell very good, I will tell you that, but it works wonderfully. I'm a school bus driver, and so I had a friend who got really sick when we were still driving. Got really sick one night, and she had posted on Facebook, and I ran her a little bit of Digize and Peppermint in. She didn't think she was going to be able to drive the next day, but she got up and she messaged me the next day. She said she was amazed because she didn't realize how quickly that would work, and that she didn't even feel like she had been sick at all. So very, very powerful. I also have another friend who I believe is on here, did warn me and told me you can put it around your belly button or on the bottom of your feet. But she said when you put it around your belly button, it hits you so quick, you might want to make sure the first time at least that you're close to a bathroom, or at least not in clothing that's really hard to get off. Citrus Fresh. Citrus Fresh is one of my favorite blends. It stimulates the right side of my brain, and I'm a crafty person, so I work out of the right side of my brain a lot. And so I will diffuse this a lot. It spreads cheer, and you can diffuse it for disagreeable odors. But one of the great things about it is you can cook with it too. If you look at those two little bottles, one has a white label and one has a yellow label. The white label is the vitality line, which means you can ingest it. The other label is we have to have a certain label for the FDA, by the FBA. Yeah, they wanted to make sure that we labeled anything that was ingestible, and so they used the white label with the vitality logo on it. But I will tell you that both of those are the exact same oil. So a lot of times, the small bottles, like you see there, will have about 80 drops, and the 15 milliliter bottles will have 250 drops. And so what I do is I will look and see if I'm looking for, just say, peppermint, and I know that it has a vitality label, I will get the larger bottle because it's a better buy for me. And it's the exact same oil. So I'm saving money by getting the larger bottle, but I know that I can ingest it. All right, so next is Hanaway. Hanaway is a blend. It reduces pain and inflammation and increases circulation and accelerates healing. This is something that I put in my arthritis blend, my sore muscle rub. It's good for bumps and bruises. I like to call it Pain Away because that's kind of what it reminds me of, and it's how I remember it. Frankincense. Frankincense is the Jesus oil. It was more valued than gold back then in ancient times. It was used for anointing and healing and treating every known illness at the time. It's grown, the trees are actually grown in Oman, and they have to be 40 years old before they can tap the bark to get frankincense. So it was not an oil that was easy to come by. And so when you had it, and that's why it's a little bit more expensive now too, because it does go through a rigorous process. but it is definitely one that I always have in my arsenal. It is really great for skin. I put it in I have a daytime serum and a nighttime serum that I use. And so I put frankincense in both of those. It's great for healing, inflammation, depression, supports all those things. It's also mentioned in one of the oldest known medical records. Raven is another blend. You'll notice we have a lot of blends in this kit. It supports the respiratory system. So when I make a congestion rub, I put this in. Now I have chronic sinus issues, and so Raven and Lavender Lemon Peppermint are my go-tos for that. I have roller bottles that I can keep with me at all times, but I also have a congestion rub, especially in the wintertime, that it really works. It's great like before exercise to help with fatigued muscles. Afterwards as well. Okay, stress away. And just a second here. We got someone who's not on mute. Okay. Stress away is also one of my favorites. It's a blend, but the name kind of says it all. It's basically for everyday stresses, and we also have a dog version called Tea Away. This is one of the things that helped lower my blood pressure as well, I believe. I put it in my pillow spray. I use Stress Away, lavender, and cedarwood. There is lavender and cedarwood in Stress Away, so it just kind of boosts that a little bit. There are about 10% of people that cannot use lavender because it will wake them up. I believe Alicia's on here. Alicia, if you want to unmute yourself, you can kind of give your testimony if you want to.
That I can't sleep with lavender. It's not a club I wanted to be a part of, but it's one I'm part of anyway. It took me a long time to fall asleep when I did the lavender at night, and then I woke up at 2 in the morning, like ready to run a marathon.
Right,
So,
and then you switched to
peace and calming.
Right, and that's working wonders, right?
It's delightful, yes.
Yes, yes, and that's one of the great things about Young Living is that you can, if something doesn't work, you can switch to something else that may work. So the Stress Away lavender cedar works wonders for me. It did not for Tony. It did the same thing for Tony as it did for Alicia, and so that's why we switched to peace and calming. And it smells really good too. Valor. I love this name, I think, because I'm a Renaissance person, so Valor is a big thing in the Renaissance. It's a blend that will give you a pick-me-up, but yet keep you grounded at the same time. We kind of call this courage in a bottle. The Roman soldiers used to put this on before they'd go into battle, just to kind of give them a little bit of liquid courage. There are some people that call it chiropractor in a bottle because it does support back alignment. A lot of massage therapists will use Valor, and I know that it is one that is used fairly regularly in the raindrop method, which is a massage method that Young Living came up with. I use it in my liquid calm roller to help with panic attacks and anxiety and depression, along with a few other oils. But I also use this I have degenerative disc disease in my neck, and so I put a little bit of this on there too to help with the fire that shoots down my arms, and it's worked like a wonder. Thieves is our last oil that we're going to talk about. I love Thieves because it has a legend that fits right into the Renaissance fair. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that legend. It happened during the bubonic plague. There were 4 herb and spice merchants that had lost their living because of the bubonic plague, because obviously people didn't have the money to buy their herbs and spices. So they took a combination of their herbs and spices, the clove, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus, rosemary, and lemon, put it all together, and they lathered themselves with it from head to toe, over their mask, everywhere. And then they would go and they would steal from the dead and dying corpses of the sufferers of the bubonic plague. Eventually, they did get caught, and the judge told them that he would forego their sentence, which was, when you got caught for stealing, was death. He said he would keep them in prison, but he would forgo the death penalty if they just explained how they never caught the bubonic plague. And so they told him about the blend they used, and the judge was true to his word and didn't sentence them to death. But he also spread the word throughout the nation. I'm not sure which bubonic plague, because there were multiple ones. I just know that that is the legend for one of them. It was so powerful that Young Living actually came up with an entire Thieves line. This line is really incredible, smells great. I have changed out everything in my arsenal to one of these little products, as far as my cleaning and personal care products. It is chemical free. It's very concentrated. And so when you are using so very little of it at a time, it saves you money. It also will save you space and time. It meets the EPA standards. One of my favorites is, you can kind of see it there in the top left, is the household cleaner. That one bottle will make 16 ounces, 40. So if you take a 16-ounce bottle, it'll make 40 of those. All you do is put a cap full of that in and fill it up with water, and you've got an all-purpose cleaner. That one little bottle has replaced everything under my kitchen sink, because I have made soft scrub with it, I have made window cleaner with it, I have made polish, liquid polish with it, just all kinds of things. And the kind of to the left there is the toothpaste. My husband is a toothpaste snob, and so he was very, very particular in the type of toothpaste he used. It had to have the right taste and the right texture, or he was not a happy camper. And so I was a little worried about him liking this, but now this is all we use, and he absolutely adores it. If you look to the right, you'll see the hand purifier, which kills 99.99% of germs. And the Thieves spray, which is right below that, which is really great for spraying grocery carts, door handles, anything that you'd be touching, to have the same effect. Ningxia Red. Ningxia Red is one of my favorite supplements, and we're going to talk a little bit about supplements, but this is the one we're going to spend the most time on. It supports all of your body systems in one way or another. It is made from the Ningxia wolfberry primarily. It does have other things in it, but the Ningxia wolfberry, the auric scale is how they measure antioxidants. And blueberries, we all have heard, are really good antioxidants. 3 ounces of blueberry juice will actually register at 2,400 on the auric scale. Pomegranate, which is the next highest one, measures at 10,000, but the Ningxia wolfberry registers at 30,000 on the auric scale. And so it's a very, very powerful fruit that you can only harvest it in the province of Ningxia. There are other wolfberries that you can plant and stuff, but it is not going to have the same benefits and the same constituents as the Ningxia wolfberry. But some of the things that are in Ningxia Red, you've also got blueberry juice, plum juice, cherry juice, aronia juice, and pomegranate juice. So it has all of those that are the highest on the auric scale as antioxidants. It also has essential oils, grapefruit, orange, yuzu, lemon, and tangerine. So it's oil infused as well, which means it's going to help it absorb into your body just a little bit easier and quicker. One thing that I have found with Ningxia is it has increased my energy level. And so I don't really notice, like I'm not jumping off the walls or bouncing off the walls, but I can definitely tell a difference when I stop taking it because I feel like I'm sleepy again, like I used to be. So Ningxia Red has been incredible for me. One thing I told you I was going to tell you a little bit about my blood pressure. I am a school bus driver, and every year school bus drivers need to have a yearly physical. And so I have always been at the borderline where I would have to start taking blood pressure medications if my blood pressure raised any higher. So this is about my 10th year. I'm going into my 10th year of driving. And I went in January to have my physical, and my blood pressure was 122 over 82. And it has not been that low for a very, very long time. And I believe it's because of the oils I'm using in the Ningxia that I drink every day. I drink about 1 ounce every day. So I can't say enough about Ningxia. Everybody needs to be on Ningxia. Ningxia is a supplement, but here are kind of the supplements that you're used to seeing, you know, in the capsules and pills and stuff. We have a lot of supplements, but they're more than just a trend or a lucky guess. When you walk into a grocery store to get, or wherever you get, a vitamin store, wherever you get supplements, if they're not oil infused, like all of our supplements are oil infused, they have oils in them. Ones that do not have oils in them only have a 42% absorption rate in 24 hours. So you are basically peeing out 58% of, or what is it? Yeah, I guess I don't do math, but 58% of the oils or of the supplements that you're actually taking. And so all of ours are oil infused. And when they're oil infused, it will absorb 64% in 30 minutes and 86% in 1 hour. So it's really incredible. I am starting to get more into these. I had Life 9 that's there at the bottom is one that I take every evening. It's the only one that needs to be refrigerated because of the strains that are in it. But it's a probiotic. And so I take that every day because gut health is extremely important. I take Super B with Ningxia, which they call the Energizer Bunny. Still not jumping off the walls, but I do go a lot longer without getting tired. Super C, you've heard in the news lately, you know, take your vitamins. B, C, D, take them because you need them to help build your immune system. And so I take B, C, and D every day. But they have ones that are for targeting things, like if you have arthritis or diabetes or you know, some kind of other health issue. There are ones that I have a friend, actually who's a team member out in California. Her husband suffered really bad from gout to the point where he was using crutches every day. And we got her on alkaline or got him on alkaline. And as far as I know, the last time I talked to her, he has not been using crutches. So these are very powerful supplements. But you also need to do your research on any supplements you take if you're on any other kind of medication, so that we make sure that it's not going to have an adverse result with that. Never ever go off of medication that your doctor has prescribed. Let him take you off of it. You can still use oils. And then as things start getting better, then hopefully maybe your doctor will start decreasing it, but never do it yourself. It can send your body into shock. The Think Dirty app, if you download that app and you go under your kitchen sink and you start scanning things, it will actually show you what rating it has health-wise, like what kind of chemicals and stuff. And they've rated just like we did in school, A, B, C, D, and F. And so you want to make sure that you are getting something that is not going to hurt you as far as chemicals. That's why we have a ditch and switch class. We go over those types of things more in depth to kind of get rid of all of those chemicals that you have. You can see a list there on the right. All of those things, if you are not getting them that are chemical free, you are putting chemicals into your body. And those chemicals can be cancer causing. They can be, they're finding links to autism and all kinds of different disease. And so it's really important to know what you are putting in and on your body. Okay. So there's 3 different ways that you can order products through Young Living. I'm just going to briefly touch on this. You can buy a kit. Actually, the first way is you can just do retail. Retail is rather expensive because you're not getting any kind of discounts. The second way is you can buy a kit and you'll get 24% off of all the products that we have. You only have to, in order to keep that membership active, you only have to spend $50 a year. My favorite is the Essential Rewards. That's buying a kit, like the one that I just showed you, and spending $50 a month, which you're going to be saving because you're already spending $50 on different household products, whether it's shampoo, conditioner, cleaners, laundry detergent, all of that kind of stuff. You're already spending it on that. If you spend $50 a month, they're going to give you a whole bunch of free stuff. And that's what I'm going to kind of go over here. They have what they call ER points that you can use towards free products. Months 1 through 3, you get 10%. So let's just say you spend $100. You don't have to spend $50 in this, but if you spend $100, you'll get $10 back that you can use towards free products. Months 4 through 24, you get 20%, and months 25 and above, you get 25%. There's discounted shipping. There's lots of ER packages. There are never any fees. So even if you start off with the $50 a month and find out a couple months down the road that either it's too much, you can't afford it, or you're just not using it that much, you can always drop back. And there's no penalty to do that. Once you're on ER, you'll get free oils months 3, 6, 9, and 12. Really important oils, a couple that we went over and a couple that we didn't. The loyalty blend is the 12 months, and you will get that every 12 months that you're on ER. That is a loyalty blend. You cannot buy loyalty, and so the only way you can do it is earn it on Essential Rewards. Plus, they also have promotions every month where you can get free stuff. And you also you can, no matter which kit you get, or which, if you do the $50 a year or $50 a month, we have groups that you can be a part of that are private groups that we do a lot of fun stuff, and we don't just give you a kit and hand it to you and say you're on your own. We're going to teach you and show you how to use things, tips, and all kinds of different things. We're a very active group. If you buy a kit, this is the welcome kit that I give you. I give you an essential oils pocket reference, which is really, really important. Helps you look up different things, explains a lot of different things in the front of the book. But if you look in the back of the book, if you look up, just say arthritis, it'll take you to a page that'll show you which oils or blends that you can use to try to help with that. Up in the upper left-hand corner is a little tray that I give you to set your oils in. I give you a few roller bottles and some grapeseed oil to get you started so that you can get started right away, and a couple of capsules, along with some hints and tips and stuff like that that you can use. And I just put this up there a little bit for anybody who would be interested in sharing oils with other people. Kind of gives you an idea of a basic plan of things that can be used, or of money that can be made. I can tell you right now that everything that I've made so far has been above the average, and so it's, if you're interested, please let me know and I'll show you how to do it. It's really, really easy. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm actually going to stop recording.